Welcome to General News, Morning Brief for July 7, 2026. Deadly Russian missile strikes have killed at least 21 people across Ukraine, while Elbit Systems reports its digital warfare systems identified nearly 1 million targets during recent conflicts in Gaza and Lebanon. According to The Guardian, many of the fatalities occurred in Kyiv, where 15 people were killed in the strikes. Timur Tkachenko, the head of the Kyiv administration, confirmed that 56 people were injured early Monday morning. The attacks heavily damaged residential apartment buildings and other civilian structures. For Ukrainian officials, these strikes expose critical gaps in the country's air defense capabilities. President Zelenskyy is now calling for urgent international intervention as world leaders prepare to meet for a NATO summit in Turkey. While traditional strikes continue to shape the conflict in Ukraine, other recent wars have revealed a different kind of intensity in how modern battlefields are mapped. At a military conference in London, Elbit Systems, Israel's largest arms supplier, shared details about the massive scale of digital target identification used in recent conflicts. The company's Tsayad Digital Army program reportedly identified 850,000 targets in real time between October 7th and the end of 2025. This technology functions as a command and control system, mapping people, vehicles, and other objects across military theaters. During the first 2 years of the wars in Gaza and Lebanon, the system detected approximately 1,000 potential targets every single day. This volume of data is turning digital mapping into a central pillar of modern military operations. Shifting to domestic news, a new legal challenge is questioning how federal agencies interact with the public. A lawsuit filed by the Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression alleges that the Department of Homeland Security is using in-person warnings to intimidate and silence critics. The legal action follows an incident involving David Striever, a resident of Rochester, New York, who sent a harsh email to a former acting ICE director. In that email, Striever compared the official to a Nazi following a fatal shooting of 2 U.S. citizens by immigration officers. According to reporting from NPR, federal agents from Homeland Security Investigations tracked Mr. Striever to his home and later to a hotel near JFK Airport, even though his wife had not disclosed his location. Agents delivered a formal warning, claiming his message might violate federal laws regarding threats against officials. The lawsuit argues this was an act of retaliation for protected speech. The Department of Homeland Security has defended its actions, citing a massive increase in threats against its officers, though the agency has not provided verification for those specific statistics. The case now centers on whether identifying an official's information in a protest constitutes a criminal threat or is part of protected speech. In politics, the Democratic Party is facing significant pressure in Maine as Senate candidate Graham Plattner faces growing calls to withdraw from his race. A report from Politico alleges that in 2021, Mr. Plattner entered a former girlfriend's home while intoxicated and forced her to have sex against her objections. Mr. Plattner has denied the claims, calling them categorically untrue, though he has acknowledged a history of alcohol abuse and described his past behavior as far from perfect. The political fallout has been swift. Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer and Senator Elizabeth Warren have both called for Mr. Plattner to exit the race. Additionally, the Democratic Senatorial Campaign Committee stated it will not invest in the Maine Senate race if he remains on the ballot. Under Maine law, Mr. Plattner has until July 13th to withdraw if the party hopes to nominate a replacement in time for the general election. These developments place the Democratic strategy in Maine, a state the party views as essential to winning a Senate majority, under intense scrutiny. That is the briefing for this morning.